Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
Mindflow Radio.
She's Jaylyn.
And he's Monty.
So buckle your seatbelts and get ready to take a trip towards reality.
Here we go, y'all.
2026.
I know. I can't believe it. It's here. It's here.
So now what? Now what are we going to do with it?
Well, first, we get to put 2025 away. So catalog that in your brain. It is done. It is finished. It is the past. And here we are in the present moment of 2026.
Yeah. Yeah, this present moment that actually is beyond labeling on some level, but it is an interesting question to ask ourselves. What will 2026 bring? And what can we bring to 2026?
Yes.
That's probably the more important question, rather than feeling like it just gets
we're along
heaped
for the
upon
ride.
us. Yeah, right. That we have a say in what's going to happen.
We have a say in our personal growth, always.
Well, we have a say in the energy. What kind of energy are we going to be pouring into the collective?
Yes.
So
and tying into. Because the collective is a mass, like smoothie blender soup thing that we can be the drop of water in the stream and realize that we're a drop of water in the stream. And in that realization, we can switch streams.
Well, that's the thing. There's different levels of the collective, or different types of collective. I would suggest there's a collective that's based on innovation and empowerment.
Yeah.
Sort of. I feel empowered. I'm a great manifester. What am I going to create?
Mm-hmm.
That I like being in that collective. And then there's another collective where it feels like, oh, woe is me. Everything's going wrong. I'm so powerless. And I spend time in that collective too.
Yeah.
So I definitely can feel the difference between one collective and the other. And maybe in between those two, there's maybe a neutral collective, which is...
Yeah, I wonder. I bet that's even rarer, like more rare than the other two, you know?
Perhaps. Maybe, yeah.
Because being neutral is seemingly much harder than anything I've ever tried to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, some of that depends on our behavior as well. I mean, for myself, it's way easier for me to be in that neutral collective if I'm really pushing back against screen time and not looking at the media or social media, just like staying away from it.
But doesn't that just kind of put you into the innovative empowerment collective?
Well, it can lead into that, certainly.
Okay.
Certainly. But I think maybe the neutral collective is maybe more easily accessible, perhaps, than the empowered collective. And maybe it's a gateway into the empowered collective.
Yeah, probably is.
I like being in that neutral place of just like, oh, here I am. Okay, what's my breathing like? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to deepen my breath a little bit. It's a little shallow. Okay, how does my mind feel? Oh, my mind's ruminating. Oh, well, I'm going to try and reduce that. And then if I'm able to reduce it, boom, then there I am in the neutral collective, just kind of being.
Yeah.
Not too wound up about this or that. And then...
Oh, that just sounds so lovely. It makes me want to be there right now.
I think it's our natural state. I mean, really, if you just think about humanity throughout the decades, the
eons.
Yeah. What is an eon?
I actually don't know.
I don't know either. Let's pretend an eon is
centuries.
1,000. Yeah, 1,000 years. But it's true. I mean, a lot of the time, humanity has been in the neutral collective. I guarantee you, people are in the garden, they're just gardening. People are out hunting in the woods 10,000 years ago. Just kind of like...
Or now.
Well, or now, but I'm talking about just throughout history.
Yeah.
That neutral collective was probably more accessible than it is today, but it's still accessible. We just need to realize that it's even there.
Yeah, it's more of a need to choose it now than it was back. Or just for animals in general, they seem to be in the neutral state a lot.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
true.
that's where they hang out. And that's, we were more in our animal selves thousands of years ago, I think.
Huh.
And so now we're more into overwhelmment and information overload. And so the neutrality state is more difficult than it is to be empowered and inspired or feeling disempowered and helpless. Like those seem more like the extreme swinging of a pendulum, whereas the neutrality would be a gentle, small swing of a pendulum.
Well, I think it's interesting that you said that in the past we were probably more in our animal selves.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're more in our intellectual selves.
Yeah.
And maybe the next step is to get into our spiritual selves.
Okay.
Which we use our intellect
and our animal.
Yeah, to ascertain more accurately who we really are.
Yeah.
So aligning with truth, perhaps. Well, that's my New Year's resolution there. Align with truth more often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I want to align with my spiritual self more often. Just keep reminding myself of who I really am and who you really are and who everybody really is. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is once I'm able to see who I am, it's easier for me to see who everybody else is. And then once I see who everybody else is, then it's much easier for me to just be forgiving, chill, respectful, and
give grace.
Yeah, and
receive grace.
And be in a place of just kind of amazed at how we are all of us who are here on this planet are survivors. Mm-hmm. We've all survived to this moment, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, we're scrappy, more or less, and we're adapting machines.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say what I feel about getting into the spiritual realm and my work on myself and with others is very much somatic and getting back into the animal. And I feel like we can't skip over the physical body, and we can't skip over the emotional roots in the physical body. And medical Qigong is all about that. You've got to get into the body, acknowledge stagnation or depletion or excess, and work to get back into balance. And once you get into balance, there's the body in neutrality, and therefore spirituality, or the spirit, the Shen, is more accessible.
Right. Well, if we take care of our bodies, perhaps. Mm-hmm. I mean, like in the Bible, it says the body
is the temple.
Yeah, is the temple. And if we can take care of our bodies perhaps more effectively, it just makes it easier to access who we really are.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the bodies really at times might get in the way.
Well, the body is the record of the mind. And that's where if we don't recognize that, if we don't acknowledge it, if we don't take time to sit with that, then it runs the show.
Well, I mean, besides being a record of the mind, I would suggest that the body is the record of our karma.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we're born into this situation. I was born into my situation, 62 years ago. but that was determined perhaps by my karma. That was perhaps, who knows how long ago I created that karma.
Right.
You know, and now how my body feels is, you know, it's a reflection of my karma now. And it's not to say that we should, you know, feel bad. I mean, all we can do is live and learn.
Right.
I mean, I've had so many injuries in my body, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not as highly functioning as I would like it to be all the time, you know, and
yeah.
But that's okay too, because this life is temporary. That's the thing. If we really have that spiritual perspective on ourselves, then everything lightens up. Then it's like, okay, well, I made this mistake and that mistake and this mistake and that mistake, but you know, this body's only going to last 100 years, and then I'll be, you know, my soul will move on into this other realm, and it's like, okay, so this is just this chapter in my book of self,
right?
Like this is just this brief chapter in my book of self. So it's really, how important is it? It's worth you know, pondering, because I think we give most things way too much importance.
Yes.
And maybe the most important things we don't give enough importance to. Like for me, the most important things for myself is, can I have some stillness in my mind?
Yeah.
You know, to me, that's really important. Can I be compassionate to everyone? That's an important thing for me. And that's...
Yeah, that's a challenge right there for anyone.
It is challenging, but if we have a soulful perspective on reality, it's way easier.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know?
Otherwise, we could just get all caught up. Caught up. What is that? YOLO, you only live once.
I
call
had
BS
to change
on
that. Yeah, I said... Mine's YOLTLO, because it's you only live this life once. That's how I say that one. But I do want to kind of just go back to the vibe of 2026.
Yes.
And astrologically speaking, I am an avid student of the sky and the cosmos, and I really follow a handful of teachers very closely in this realm. And the consensus is that 2025 was the end of slowness, which in my mind is humorous because it didn't feel slow to me at all. And supposedly with so many or all of the outer planets going into fire or air signs, we are going to be speeding up. And then it's also, if you look at the Chinese astrology, it's the horse year, the fire horse year. So it's even faster. And so basically, at this time, it's a slow start, which is awesome. I love slow starts because it gives you a little time to warm up, stretch your body out, get ready. And then the race begins, and it's the race with yourself. It's not a race with everyone around you. It's a race to keep up with your soul's growth. And try not to trip over your own growth with your ego, you know? And so it's going to be, I can't even imagine, because for me, 2025 was very fast. And one of the challenges I feel for myself personally is to be in the present moment and just be, rather than one of the issues or the practices that I've been working with is to be in the present moment and notice how my mind prefers to jump around from story to story to story to story. And one of the protocols that I created is turning vigilance inward. Yeah. And so I'm a super hyper vigilant person due to my past, but let's drop the past and face the hypervigilance. And so hypervigilance is being ultra aware, ultra conscious, and of the outside world. And how can I stay safe? How can I stay safe? That's like the constant question that goes in the nervous system. It's not even a conscious thought. And then...
Yeah, subconscious.
Right.
Yeah.
To turn that inwards. I am safe in this moment. What's going on inside? I am safe in this moment. What's going on inside? And just keep on doing that.
Yeah.
And so things that I've noticed that you can check in on are the hip girdle, pelvic bowl can get really tight. The sacrum, tailbone can be very tight. The bottom back of the rib cage can be very tight. That's where the kidneys and adrenals are. And the diaphragm is hard to take a deep breath. Like, it's literally hard to take a deep breath. And then the top of the lungs, how are your shoulders? How is your neck? How's the top of your neck? Are you having a slight headache? Are you experiencing temples really tense, jaw really tense, eyes really tense? How's your scalp? Is your scalp really tight? So that's just like a little bitty glimpse at things that you can turn inside and go, how are these places in my body feeling at this moment? And that's how you turn the vigilance inward.
Yeah, somatic awareness.
Yeah.
You know, another way to be vigilant inwardly is just to be really watching your thoughts and discerning what's going on. Be the observer of your thoughts and be vigilant of what's going on in the mind. And am I victim stancing? Am I, feeling, whatever it is, angry, insecure, sad. Just being...
Just labeling the state.
And just self-identifying with being the observer of the thoughts rather than being the thoughts themselves. Because that's the big mistake. The thoughts, that chattering mind we hear in our voice, that could be considered our ego. So the ego is easily upset. The ego is easily dissed. The ego is easily hyper dramatic, right? That's another aspect of the ego. But if we can just observe that you take a step back from that and you're the observer of the ego, then you're in a soulful perspective.
Yeah.
So being vigilant of the ego and what's going on with the ego and not giving it power over our lives. That's like a huge problem in our cultures. We're run to a large extent. A lot of the leaders of humanity are really hooked into their egos rather than their souls. So, and the egos, like I said, they really tend to be dramatic, and people who are egomaniacs tend to be very immature, for example, while the soulful observer tends to be more balanced and solid, and so for me, turning that vigilance towards just observing my own ego and not letting the ego run my life.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's taking over the reins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once I'm like, no, I'm not going to go there. Yes, I could feel dissed about this if I wanted to, but I choose not to.
And what will it serve?
Yeah, or I'll experience that for a minute or a couple minutes, but I'm not going to ruminate on it for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, or 3 years or 3 decades. Or,
I feel like that's a really important point you just said. And that is to acknowledge the big milestones in our life that determine our present moment. And if there's a point where you felt dissed by someone, whether it was a close friend, a stranger, or someone in the family, and that diss is a groove in your brain in yoga called the samskara, and that disc just continues to replay and be the guide of all of the present moment, then there's it's damaging. It's super damaging. I can tell you from experience.
Well, it holds us back.
Well, yeah, and it hurts us
It keeps
physically.
us stuck, and and with 2026, my hope for 2026, you're talking about speeding up.
Yeah.
If we could take that speeding up energy and just create a better culture, right? And how do we do that? How do we create a better culture? And I would suggest the way to achieve that is to just develop that soulful perspective, and then, okay, what do I create? The ego wants to fight. The ego's idea of creating a better culture is fighting. Okay, I'm feeling this, so I got to fight them, and I got to fight them, and I got to fight them, and I got to fight them. And I put them down, and I put them down, and I put them. That's the ego trip. But the soulful perspective is, okay, how do I have compassion for all of humanity and make this world a better place?
And navigate gracefully.
Right. Well, yeah, gracefully. How do we help the homeless people? How do we help the people on fentanyl and meth? How do we stop the wars? How do we, et cetera? How do we all eat organic food? How do we get our energy from the sun and not from gasoline?
Okay,
it's all very possible if we can just manage to instead of fighting the negative, we just create a new system. So if I have problems with the culture that's out there, instead of focusing on the culture that I have problems with, I just turn my head and I create a new culture.
Yeah, then that's what I wanted to point out. This is a very individual thing. Life is an individual thing. We're born alone and we die alone. And it's very important. I mean, maybe you're surrounded by people, but you're still alone, when you pass or when you're born.
I don't know. I think there's like spirits everywhere. I think that we're not aware of. So I don't think we're ever really alone.
Okay, but that wasn't really... Okay. Anyway, my point is that the individual mission is not necessarily all about the service to others as it is the service to self. And to see that it's not about the fight, it's about the growth, it's about the journey. And the one thing that I wanted to say back to 2026, speeding up and the vibe that we're most likely going to experience is these moments, any moment where you find yourself, quote unquote, bored or, just sitting there staring off into space. Those are precious moments, absolutely precious, where we rebuild our energy and restore our energy. And one thing that I've found for myself is that when I feel into a present moment and start filling it in with drama or outside moments that I'm bringing to my precious, quiet, present moment, it's unnecessary. It's like, the drain you feel after scrolling for a long time. There's this feeling of, wow, I'm really tired. I need to go to bed. Or, I need to take a nap. I need,
Yeah.
And it's these slowdowns that are going to be these absolute precious moments that we can utilize. It's like our opportunity to plug into the earth and be restored by earth energy. And I think that's going to be a really important part of this coming year, is to simply notice those moments and utilize them to the best of your ability. And I think grounding is going to be one of those skills that for people who find it semi-natural or have already made a habit of grounding, they're going to be a little bit better off this year than those of us who feel scattered by the wind and the fire energy. And it's going to be so important to be able to restore our energy, whether that's going and sitting in your yard or in a nearby park, or even imagining sitting in a park, sitting by the beach, having a house plant that you can just, that's your focus as you do your present moment awareness, feeling the vitality of a living plant. That is grounding. And I think that skill right there is going to be so important over this next year as we find our inspirations, as we find our inner growth, and as we find that the world is spinning faster, taking those moments and treasuring them instead of wondering how we can prepare for the next fast relay.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just what that tells me is like in 2026, for myself, I will meditate more and scroll less, basically, right?
Yeah.
And just stay on that path,
Yeah.
hopefully. And I know I'll feel better. And even though I might be alone meditating somewhere, I know that I am at that point adding to this collective consciousness. See, that's why I think we're always part of this collective consciousness. And if I'm angry and pouting and victim stancing, which I do, but if I'm in that place, I'm just adding to that energy. So, and I could be all alone doing that, but I'm part of this collective of like angry people.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Which makes it harder to get out.
Well, it does make it. That's why it's so sticky.
Yeah.
That's why it's sticky, and we're exploited because of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But now is the time for us to really take back our power and get into that collective manifesting vibration. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm powerful at manifesting. Oh, we're all powerful at manifesting because guess what? Guess what, everybody? We're all God creatures. We all have that spark of the divine within us, spark of the creator. So we are creators. What do I want to use this creative power for? Mm-hmm. Do I want to create cool things? Yes. Do I want to create war? No. Personally, I think that's the way to go. And
yeah,
I mean, we're all, it's just,
I'm just going to go with that for a moment because
Yeah.
it's time to pause and take a music break. And we're going to share with you our signature song in its latest version, Mindflow Radio. So please enjoy this present moment of musical mindfulness, and we'll talk again in a moment.
Yeah, enjoy the song. This song is in 5/4. Mindflow Radio. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we are in this moment, being with what feel your breath. Release the air fully. And inhale fresh air. Here we are in this moment, being with what is. Here we are in this moment, being with what is. Thank you for choosing Mindflow Radio. Please stay seated until we have come to a complete stop. We hope you'll fly with us again soon. All right, I hope you enjoyed that song. It's been evolving with us over the last year, I'd say, maybe less than a year.
Yeah, maybe that song's probably 6 months old.
Yeah.
So it's one of our more recent
Yeah, and this is the latest
creations.
transition.
Yeah.
It continues to evolve just like we do. And
Indeed.
yeah, so I want to come back to some keys to manifesting and really just sharing with y'all the different pieces of manifesting that I'm working on and you're working on. And
yeah.
Do you want to begin?
Sure. Well, what I spoke of earlier, just having a soulful perspective, I think is one key to really tapping into our ability, our innate ability to manifest. Because that is our soul, the spark of the divine, the Tao, is our... That is why we are great at manifesting. It's because we have this spark within us. And so the more we tap into this spark, the more we self-identify with that spark, the more we're able to, number one, we just feel better. Number two, we're more compassionate. Number three, we have things into perspective. And number four, we're more effective at manifesting positive things. So just by aligning my mind with closer to reality. I don't think I can, at this point in my life, I can't be like, oh, I'm completely in line with reality, because that's not true. But if I can just move in that direction, what I'm discovering is I'm becoming more and more effective at manifesting. And it makes sense. And conversely, if my mind is all caught up in victim stancing or anger, like I said, which I do go there, fairly often, it's not, or depression for that matter, that at that point, my ability to manifest is severely limited. It's limited. And anger in general, when I think of it, what it does to my perspective, it's blinding, because it's like putting blinders on my what I can see. So I can't see the entire picture anymore because I'm angry. It just limits my scope of perception, and it limits my ability to manifest positive things. What can I manifest when I'm angry? Well, humanity throughout history has proven itself to be excellent at manifesting war and strife, and all that. We're good at that. But now, as we develop and as we evolve and we begin to understand who we really are, we're getting better and better at manifesting peace. And we're going to get better and better at manifesting, just taking care of everybody and loving who we really are, and seeing who other people really are. So I guess that's my spiel about manifesting.
Okay.
Part of it, at least.
So what I want to share that I have recently been ushered towards in a way that finally resonated with me in a deep, deep way. And that is kind of piggybacking off of what you just said about the past. It's time to drop the past. And it's time to create little personal rituals that remind us, oh, right, I'm in the present, and all I need is the wisdom of my experience in the present moment. And from there, I can manifest a greater world. And so a little ritual that I have begun doing is to sit in front of my altar, or, when I'm traveling and on the road, that anywhere is my altar, right? And I have a spray bottle with beautiful scents that remind me that this is what I'm doing. And I hold the bottle and I say, this is to bring me into the present moment and to cleanse me of my past, I don't need to carry my past with me right now. And I spray the scent around my head and my neck and my chakras down my body, and then take a few deep breaths. I might, if I'm standing, or if I'm not, if I'm in a car or traveling, I may not do some standing meditation because it may not be possible. But some standing meditation, inhaling, bringing up the earth energy all the way to the scalp. Feel the earth energy shining through my scalp, relaxing my scalp. And then as I exhale, letting go of all those past remnants and residue and letting it go all the way out my feet. And if I'm still feeling a little bit like the past is hitchhiking on me, then I do some shaking it out, bouncing, like letting gravity take whatever's left. So that's my little ritual, because if you can be present, then you can manifest from the present moment. If you have the past hitchhiking on you, it's going to interlace and interrupt what you can create.
Yes. And another aspect of manifesting that I think is important is that we attempt to manifest things that are in line with our dharma. Because that is, what is our dharma? Our dharma is our individual purpose. So we all have these individual dharmas. And if we can discover what our dharmas are, that gives us a post that we can, move towards. It gives us direction in our lives rather than just floundering. Oh, I just want to be rich. How common is that? I've spent a lot of time feeling that way. And when I was younger, I didn't really know what my dharma was, and just like, this scheme and that scheme, and I mean that's the way we're kind of trained in this culture. But if we understand what our dharmas are, so that's a good step towards manifesting, is really taking a look at your skill set. What are you good at? We're all good at something. We're all really, really good at something or another. Let's just find that and then move in that direction. Pour our energy towards that, and it makes us way more effective.
Yeah. And on piggybacking that again, I also, in my search, I'm quite the seeker. And in transurfing, which is a modality that I really dig, he talks about, Vadim Zealand talks about how just notice what you're attracted to. You don't even have to be that good at it. It could be something that you just really are drawn to. It could be you really like music, but you haven't truly gotten you haven't decided that you're good at it, or you haven't started practicing, but you notice that when you listen to something, you can hear all the layers of it. That could be a sign that music is in your dharma. Or, if you have any specific judgments on people where you're like, oh, why don't they do it this way and that way and na 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 na, and if they could just talk to me, I would be able to help them out. That's maybe a sign that is the avenue of expertise that you need to develop further, and that would lead you to your dharma.
Yeah, and just it's also, I think, important to realize that all of our dharmas are equally important. Somebody's dharma might be sanitation. Keeping the streets clean and etc. And that's just as important as somebody's dharma who, I'm a doctor. We're all equally as important. And
yeah, I think that's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
Because when we're manifesting, it's really important to not make things too important. As we talked about earlier, excess importance is damaging to our personal sense of satisfaction, and is damaging, sets us back when it comes to manifesting too, because that excess importance, whether you feel like it's so important and there's no way you can manifest it, or you think, well, I'm so much better than so-and-so, and therefore I should be able to do this.
Right. Well, and
both of those angles are damaging towards your manifesting abilities.
Yeah, and you're talking about being swayed by our egos.
Right.
And that's the thing about the ego. It can trick us. It's like, oh, I want to be a great artist. Okay, that must be my dharma. Even though it's not true, perhaps. We have to develop that soulful perspective. And that's very helpful when it comes to finding our dharma, because the ego can take us down the wrong path. And there, in our culture, there's this idea of, oh, you can manifest anything you want. And it's like, no, that's not true. It has to be in line with your dharma.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I really have a belief that there are a bunch of people in the trade industries, in sanitation, in, picking up garbage, and who are really in their dharma and are like holding our culture together.
Nice.
I believe that. I believe there's like these half enlightened people all over the place.
Yeah.
Only I don't. Maybe I would recognize them. I might see them somewhere and be like, oh, whoa. But I think they're around, and they're not where you'd expect them to be. I guess is my point.
I think what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying is that people find the trade that feels good to them and they're satisfied in their life.
Yeah. And they're present.
Yeah.
As they're working their trade, whatever that is.
Yeah. I think satisfaction is a really big key on where our dharma lies as well, because there's a sense of depth and rootedness in the idea of it, where it's just like, yeah, this is what I do. And I know that I also want to say, like I was talking about different things that can get in the way and create importance. And another one that's really big for me, and I'm sure for others too, is feeling inferior. So there's like this superior-inferior pendulum swing where it's like, oh, I could never have that. I'm not good enough. Or I should be able to have that. I'm better than those people. And so it becomes this distraction, because rather than being in the individual self, it's a comparison of the outside world. And that comparison creates a lot of havoc in our personal direction and growth.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that is just ego tripping again.
Well, sure, but it's also just a deep nervous system conditioning that we've, I really strongly believe that for most anyone to truly become who they came here to be, they have to face their conditioning.
It's true. I mean, they have to face the culture we were raised in.
Yeah.
And that vibe, and somewhat overcome a lot of the negative stuff, a lot of the beliefs that hold us back. It's like beliefs and negative, but it doesn't have to even look negative. It's just conditioning. It's this deep way of, a really simple cultural conditioning that we've been inundated with is that we have to watch the news because it's our responsibility. Yeah, right. Like that's an example of conditioning. And all we have to do is take a step back and question that conditioning. Yeah. And then all of a sudden a whole new vantage point arises inside, you know? So it's the simple questioning of why do I do this way? Well, another way of framing that is to not just be obedient, question the obedience. People are telling you, well, you should think this and you should think that and you should think this and act this way. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, from my perspective, there are stiff penalties from the universe.
Yeah.
To pay when we fall into that obedience kind of perspective. And, I saw it on the news, it must be true,
Yeah.
that kind of, and that was more popular like 30 years ago when I was growing up, but it's still there. It's still there, certainly. But that obedience, again, that comes from our ego.
I feel like it's deeper than that. I feel like it's subconscious.
Well, it is
like we're raised, or we're conditioned to be obedient, and it's an act of self growth to question that, to just simply question it. You don't even have to change it.
Yeah.
You just have to notice that it's happening.
Well, and on some level, obedience is necessary.
Well, yeah. I mean,
we drive on this side of the road. I'm obedient that way, and so I'm not saying don't be obedient to anything, but at least question it, like you're saying.
Yeah, and I do want to keep going with that, and I just want to put a shout out to Dolores Cannon, who was really the pioneer of Earth School. There's lots of teachers now that still speak of it because it's so real. And the idea is that your soul came here at a certain grade level, and there's no judgment. The universe does not judge you on whether or not you graduate kindergarten in this life. It's absolutely okay if you don't.
Yeah.
But does that feel good? Does it feel good to continually learn the same, or not even learn, be tested on the same lesson over and over and over and over, and continue to fall and continue to get back up and be like, oh, that sucked, and then do it again?
Yeah. Well, and typically too, when that happens, it's like we just blame others. Oh, I failed because of them.
Right.
Oh, I failed because of them.
That.
Failed because of them. Failed because of them.
Right.
Which is... That's a challenging...
That hurts the soul, kind of what you were saying.
Well, it buries the soul. It feeds the ego, starves the soul. I mean, our souls are going to be okay no matter what. Like you said, I mean, we'll get another chance. The soul is indestructible and illuminating and all that. It's not...
Yeah, and we have very little time left, so it's like our final calls for what we want to share on manifesting. But I also just want to say from what you said that our souls really long for growth. That's what this world is about. And I just want to just say that I strongly believe that Earth is not the only place that we learn these lessons. And so, for people who are feeling like, oh my God, how much longer is the Earth going to sustain? Our souls will continue no matter what.
Yeah.
And the universe is always expanding, always creating. And who's to say that we're not going to just end up on some other planet that's similar and continue the lesson where we left off? So it's really imperative in my mind, for me and my soul, that I learn the lessons and I graduate kindergarten in this life, it's super important to me. And that's how I approach every day. How can I not repeat things from my past? How can, and not in a way like I'm carrying the past with me, but how can I be here in this moment fully with the wisdoms of the past so that I can go forward and be creative? Yeah,
we want to learn from our mistakes, essentially, and then we can keep growing.
Yeah.
But if we get stuck in making the same mistake over and over and over,
that's cause for review.
Yeah, well, and essentially that's what the ego can do. It tricks us into making the same mistake over and over and over and over, and then boom, life's over. Next time,
Yeah.
But then you'll have next lifetime to try and graduate kindergarten or first grade or
wherever you're at. It's okay,
right.
And I just want to say welcome to 2026.
Yes.
And may your experiences be lit up by the fire horse, and enjoy the down moments, enjoy the slow moments. Do your best to reach into the earth with your energy and receive that nourishment so that you can continue on this fast-paced track we're all on together.
Yeah, and find that peace, moments of peace, which will help empower you to connect with your beautiful soul and see the beautiful soul in everyone. And then boom, different perspective right there.
Yeah. Be well, y'all, and we'll share some more thoughts next month.
Peace and love.
My soul is me, my body is my vehicle. My soul is me, my body is my home. My soul is everlasting, my soul is indestructible. My soul is me, my soul. My soul is me, my body is my vehicle. My soul is me, my body is my home. My soul is everlasting, my soul is indestructible. My soul is me, my soul. My soul is me, my soul is me, my soul is me, my soul.